Hello, luminaries. I am really looking forward to this upcoming week in the stars because we are opening up to all kinds of new possibilities with our new moon in Taurus and Jupiter entering Pisces. Welcome to the Savvy Luminary Podcast, Astrology for Entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Leslie Tagorda, creator of the Astrobrand Method, business astrologer, brand designer, author, and Aquarius boss woman. I help visionary spiritual entrepreneurs and impact makers like you illuminate and amplify your unique star powers so you can be the luminary you were born to be. I love understanding all of the cosmic transits that we are all feeling. When I put together this Business StarCast report, this is so that you can understand the energies that we all get to play with. Remember, these are collective cosmic energies available to us all, and there's nothing to be fearful of. Even if there's something like a challenging retrograde or a square that you might be feeling, because instead of looking at a transit as being challenging or hard, we get curious with how do we get to use this energy in our lives, in our businesses, instead of working against them. So as you're about to listen to the cosmic notes of this upcoming week, I urge you to get curious about what you need to learn and how you get to work with this energy in your businesses. For those outer planets with those larger shifts, those outer planets that move slowly, you may feel this energy leading up to a few days, even weeks, and leading away from. And of course, if you're going to personalize these energies with conjunctions and meetings where I'm giving you specific degrees and activations, find out where that degree lives in your own natal chart. The astrological house that contains that degree is going to give you insight as to where in your life and your business you're going to have the most impact. And if you have any natal energies that are also being activated by any of these cosmic energies, that's going to give you more insight as to what's coming up for you in your own business. All right, let's dive into the Business StarCast for this upcoming week. Hey, luminaries, how are you feeling this week? Did you get a lot of clarity because both Mercury and Venus moved into the sign of Gemini, where if you're anything like me, you've been getting really clear on what you want to say about your business, how to differentiate yourself, how to get really clear on engaging with others and creating dialogue. As we keep on moving towards Gemini, we're going to get clearer and clearer in the month of May. And this week, we have lots of opportunities opening up for us. We have two big cosmic events that are happening. First of all, our new moon in Taurus, where you get to plant the seeds of abundance and profit and all things value in your business. And we have the event that we've been waiting for a couple of years, where lucky and abundant Jupiter moves into his traditional home sign of Pisces, where he is about to make a big splash and give us a little bit of preview of what's to come in 2022. So lots of abundance happening for us. And I hope that you will use this upcoming week to really plant your seeds and change your beliefs of the vision of what's possible for you in your business. Before I go into the details, I wanted to remind you and invite you to the upcoming New Moon in Taurus ceremony. While New Moon happens on May 11th, I am hosting a beautiful New Moon in Taurus ceremony with the wonderful Natalie Miller on May 13th, Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. I am thrilled to co-host this new moon ceremony with Natalie Miller because she brings her brilliance in visualization, where she is going to be guiding us on clearing the path and getting to that place of fullness, of plentiness that we need to feel in our business so that we can contribute our value back and create profit in a way that feels aligned, that supports and nourishes nourishes us without feeling overbearing, without feeling so greedy. If you want to learn more about Natalie Miller and her just absolute dreaminess and her approach to plentiness, be sure to listen to episode 75, where she was a guest, where we talked exactly about plentiness. Now you'll get to experience her live during our new moon in Taurus ceremony. I'll also be offering Loom Astro Brand readings, your new moon activations, for those of you that sign up and pay more than $47. So head over to thesavvyluminary.com/new moon to sign up for this beautiful in-person ceremony. If you can't make it live, there will be a replay. You'll still get your Loom video and you'll still get your worksheet, so you can get really clear on the seeds that you want to plant. Remember, you create an intentional life and business when you make the space to get clear on what you want. The monthly new moon is the perfect reminder to get clear, and your astrology will give you the insight as to where in your life and your business you need this new upgrade. So, the astrology of the week is there's not a lot of minor aspects going on. Of course, the moon has its aspects. I don't really cover the moon aspects too much, except for our lunations. And we have a beautiful and brilliant, energetically anyways, not the light, new moon in Taurus on May 11th. That is Tuesday, May 11th at exactly 12 p.m. on the dot Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. The moon and the sun will be meeting at Taurus of 21 degrees and 18 minutes. You know I love new moons, and I'm really looking forward to this Taurus new moon. I mean, we're all business owners, and part of owning a business is to earn money, to thrive, not just survive, so that we can generate more income and give from a place of generosity, so that we can really see our value and how we plant our value and contribute that value into the world so it ripples out further. And this Taurus new moon is giving us all the opportunity to plant our seeds so that we can call in our impactful value and abundant profits in our business and brand. So the big question for this new moon that you'll need to answer for yourself is, how do you add innovative value, and how do you clearly communicate your value? The astrology of the new moon is quite beautiful that day. We have the sun and the moon, of course, at 21 degrees of Taurus. We still have Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees, and Uranus will be, of course, squaring Saturn for most of the year. So we're really looking at new ways of doing things, because the old, outdated ways are broken. So, the way that you used to make money, the way you used to add value is no longer the same. So how can you upgrade that in your life and your business? We have Jupiter hanging out at the final degree of Aquarius before it dips its toes into Pisces in a couple of days. And so Jupiter might be bringing up some of the more shadow sides of its luck and abundance, which can mean overindulging or overspending. But as long as you're really careful with Jupiter at its 29th degree, you can watch yourself if you're doing any of those overzealous things. That is the one shadow side of a lucky Jupiter. We have Saturn that day in this beautiful trine with Mercury and the North Node. So as last week, as we were building up our clarity in how to express and share information about our business and our value, you're getting even clearer, because Saturn is giving you the focus that you need in order to sit down and write. It's giving you the mastery and the insight of how to structure and organize your messaging for clarity. So those are all of the really beautiful energies that are coming up. Now, some of the more challenging energies we do have, we also on that new moon, we have a Mars squaring Chiron. If you feel any old hurts coming up, get curious with it, because these old hurts might be flaring up like a little bit of anger or a little bit of resistance to authority figures, because Chiron is in Aries. But use this energy to get curious again, to say like, what unresolved issues do I have around authority? What unresolved issues do I have around not feeling like I am deserving? Because ultimately, these are going to be playing into your idea of plentiness and your idea of what you think that you deserve. And so it's really important to look at those energies and get curious, not from a judgmental place, but how can you learn what is the wisdom of that wounding that you have learned to overcome? That is the key to this astrology of the new moon in Taurus. So, on this day, I want you to get clear about your abundance and your profits and your ability to make a profit, your ability to gather the resources and gather and see your value. Whatever you call this term for money and this energetic exchange, we all need it in our physical life here on Mother Earth. Each of us wants and desires different things, and we have our own reasons for desiring money. You can look to your moon sign. That gives you some hints in terms of like, what does success mean to you? What do you need to feel emotionally secure? But it's up to you to understand what you want and what allows you to gain it, or in some instances, not gain it. The value that you deliver to your customers has different meanings, and it's up to you to deliver and define your own value. Of course, you can look to your chart, you can look to Taurus, you can look to Venus, you can look to your second house cusp. That will give you all the insights you need to really see what value you are meant to contribute into the world. There are many things that go into your ability to earn the resources you need. And at the core is how you value yourself and what you offer in the world. The first step is to recognize and embody your value. This is true worthiness. And I understand how hard that is. I feel like I've only recently understood my own value at the ripe young age of 47. If you don't value yourself or your offerings, no one else will. Just a little example. Earlier, I was talking with a lawyer, so beautiful, so talented, and she had over 20 years of experience in her field. Yet, before she was working for it as an in-house lawyer, and now she's working as a lawyer for herself. And she focused on, well, I know I just started my business. Well, I know that there are lots of other lawyers, but how I saw her as like, it didn't matter if you're working for yourself or someone else. You have 20 years of experience creating abundance, millions of dollars of abundance for your clients. So focus in on that. So if you've noticed yourself kind of talking down on some of your assets, that is a huge key, because you're really undermining your own worthiness. So notice if you're doing that and plant the seeds so that you don't do that in your business. So do note again that at the time of the new moon, we will all have this Chiron and Mars squares. So again, that undermining and maybe some emotional anger that comes from not feeling secure in the value that you bring. So get curious with what feelings and old hurts may be a bit sensitive. If you're feeling disconnected from your value and how you add value, get curious to understand if there are still lingering doubts about your abilities. Now, spend some time in quiet meditation for this Taurus new moon, or in another spiritual flow state that can open your heart and the doors to deeper understanding of your blocks to worthiness. So decide today on this new moon what abundance and value add looks like to you in your spiritual business. So So of course, you know, I love doing the house by house activations for these new moons. And this new moon is happening at 21 degrees of Taurus. So go get your natal chart, look at where Taurus is, look at where 21 degrees of Taurus is, and notice what house contains 21 degrees of Taurus. That is the house that is being activated. If 21 degrees of Taurus is within just a few degrees of the following house, use the activation for the next house. So today you are going to be planting the seeds to manifest impact, value, and abundant profit in your business. If you have a first house activation, you are planting seeds to manifest impactful value and abundant profit in your business's luscious brand identity and wealth building leadership. If you have that Taurus rising, you are a brand that needs a beautiful, you need a beautiful brand identity. Yes, I said it. There are a few houses, a few signs, a few signatures that need a beautiful brand identity more than others. And that's you with your Taurus rising. In the next episode, I will be talking all about visual brands, so stay tuned. If you have a second house activation for this new moon, you're planting the seeds to make manifest through your brand promises and added value that elevates your profits. With Taurus in your second house, this is about creating stable and steady profits. If you have a third house activation for this new moon, you're planting the seeds to manifest impactful value and abundant profits in your business's communications, promotions, and marketing. You need to be expressing about your abundance and steady outcomes with Taurus in the third house. If you're having a fourth house activation for this Taurus new moon, today you're planting the seeds to manifest impactful value and abundant profits in your business's home base. So your home office, your foundations at home, your family life, that makes a huge difference because you're building safe communities. And, you know, real estate, you might be planting seeds to make some real estate and land investments for your legacy. If you have a fifth house activation for this Taurus new moon, you're planting seeds to manifest impactful value and abundant profits in fun, tactile, and creative inner child play. Passion led value add investments. How can you add creativity and sensuality to your profitability? If you have your new moon activation in the sixth house, you're going to be focusing on planting your seeds of profitability and value in your day-to-day systems and business health and routine, because it is through this routine and stability that is going to enable effective profitability for you. If you have a seventh house activation for this Taurus new moon, you're planting the seeds for abundance and profitability in your business through monetizable partnerships and collaborations with stable win-wins. So really focusing on either your ideal customers or other kinds of affiliate programs or really intimate partnerships. This is where your money is. If you have an eighth house activation for this Taurus new moon, you are planting seeds to manifest impactful value and abundant profit through your own inner healing and using and leveraging in a sustainable way other people's resources. The eighth house is about this deep healing that you need to feel and being able to harness the power of other people's properties. So if you're thinking about landing a loan or getting some grant money or asking your family or even your partner to help invest in your business, If you have an 8th house activation, this would be your key. If you have a 9th house activation for this Taurus new moon, you're looking to plant your seeds of profitability and abundance by looking at expanding your global reach. And expanding your global reach through this idea of generosity and giving thanks and paying forward material wealth. So, really putting in some kind of give back system in your business. If you have a 10th house activation for your Taurus new moon, you are planting seeds to manifest and profit through professional recognition by really seeing yourself as the expert and authority. Perhaps you have some kind of influential or artistic ability that you want to plant your seeds in, especially with Taurus at the very top of your chart. You have this beauty and this purpose in beauty that you are creating that will help you see yourself as the expert. If you have an 11th house activation for this upcoming new moon, you are meant to manifest impactful value and abundant profits in your business's lucrative community organizations. Sometimes this is going to be supporting environmental causes because we have Taurus here in the 11th house, where we're looking at the impact on social impact and humanity through our land and in our environment. So think of ways that you can manifest impactful value through these different groups and communities. And if you have a 12th house activation for this new moon, you are here to manifest impactful value and abundant profit in your business through spiritual means, through wisdom means, through charitable and nonprofit needs. So look at charitable opportunities that allow you to give back and restore stability and spiritual stability towards others. So, what house is being activated for you? If you don't have a clear idea, feel into your heart and see which activation most spoke to you. Remember, if you want to go deeper in this new moon and celebrate in circle with me and Natalie Miller, head over to thesavvyluminary.com/new moon to sign up. So, the day after the new moon on May 12th, we have Mercury trining exactly with Saturn. It was already an orb during the new moon, but it comes exact at 11:34 a.m. Pacific, 2:34 p.m. Eastern. So, a day before, a few days before, a few days after, this is a wonderful time to concentrate. What communications or writing projects need your step-by-step evaluation? This is such a great time to plan out your marketing or write your book outline or your course outline, anything that needs some concentration and depth of thought. It's going to feel so clear and supportive. For a few days leading up to and away from this exact aspect, we are all feeling the need to think deeply. We all have the energy to and mental space to clear out distractions and focus on creating foundational structures we need for bigger thought and communication projects. If you've been meaning to plan out marketing projects, podcast seasons, your next book, your next course, your next plan of action, this is the energy you need. On another note, if you've been meaning to have a difficult conversation with someone, this energy could be on your side to help you focus, stay on track, keep your boundaries, and speak with clarity. Mercury will be at Gemini of 13 degrees, trining with Saturn at Aquarius of 13 degrees. Look at your natal chart to see if you have energies around 13 degrees of air signs. These energies will add to your supportive clarity and energy. If you have energies near 13 degrees of mutable or fixed signs, these energies will add a bit of creative tension for this energetic shift. And this is the upcoming aspect we have been waiting for a couple of years, pre-pandemic. Remember when everything was questioning, what is 2020 going to throw at us? And then 2020 blew up. Well, now lucky Jupiter now leaves Aquarius and enters Pisces. It seems like Jupiter just zipped through Aquarius into Pisces. Jupiter enters Pisces at exactly 3:36 p.m. Pacific, 6:36 p.m. Eastern, where now we get to make a big splash with expansive visions. What will you dream in and dream up? Now through July 29th, Jupiter makes a splash in his traditional home of visionary Pisces. Jupiter has been rushing through Aquarius to take a dip back home where he can expand on his big dreams, illuminating imagination and opening up to all the possibilities that he discovered during his time in Aquarius. While Jupiter is in his traditional home sign, he is super powered and super sensitive, giving you an energetic, sensey boost. Even if you don't consider yourself especially creative or especially spiritual, we all get a dose of this divine, imaginative, illusionary powers. So it's going to feel like we can add a rainbow sparkle effervescence to everything. In July, expansive Jupiter will come back to Aquarius during his retrograde cycle and stay there until the end of 2021. When Jupiter returns back to Aquarius for the rest of the year, we will have this gift of vision and imagination from his time in Pisces that we're going to be able to build into our social impact strategy. You have a social impact strategy, don't you? For the moment, while Jupiter is in Pisces for the next week, expand on your work that benefits from your vast, intangible imagination. Anything to do with photography, video, music, spirituality, divine spirit, artistic, all of that. Pay attention to your sleeping and waking dreams. This is where Jupiter's magic will beam in while Jupiter is in Pisces. If you have any planets or angles at 0 degrees to 2 degrees of Pisces, as Jupiter dips its toes over the next few months into Pisces, your Piscean energies will be abundantly activated. So enjoy this summer splashing about with Jupiter in its home sign of Oceanic Pisces now through July 29th. And lastly, on May 14th, Mercury enters the shadow zone at Gemini of 16 degrees. So we have our upcoming Mercury retrograde at the tail end of May on May 29th. As Mercury dips into the shadow zone, the theme will be effective business communication review. This is going to give us a preview of what you will need to rethink in your business during this upcoming Mercury retrograde. So specifically, be on the lookout for what communications and mindset issues do you need to rethink. These things will start to come aware while Mercury slows down and enters the shadow zone. Now, this is a great reminder. It's time to start backing things up, making space for misunderstandings, and all the usual things. So, this is plenty of warning to get ready. We are coming up to our second Mercury retrograde of the year, and this time in Mercury's home sign of Aries Gemini. This Mercury retrograde could be a little bit extra potent because it's in its home sign. So let's make a plan to get ready and to understand how we're supposed to work with this energy instead of against it. So remember, Mercury retrogrades are wonderful times to reflect and reset. This is not the time to resist, push through, or rush. As Mercury moves into the shadow zone, the area that Mercury will travel through as it goes backwards, this gives us a preview to the thinking and communication points that we get a chance to redo. Communication is such a vital part of entrepreneurship, and what you say or don't say can make or break you. With this first phase of the Mercury retrograde, start to pay attention to what you say, what you think, and how you say it. What you express or not express is a clear indication of what you are thinking on the inside and gives us the keys to the mindset issues you need to resolve. Are you confidently speaking your mind? Or is your mindset causing you to not say something? Are you overgiving because you don't see your value? Or are you not sharing any information because you don't trust yourself? This is where communications and mindset meet. So remember, Mercury retrograde starts on the 29th, and on the 14th, it will enter the shadow zone at Gemini 16 degrees. Mercury is going to be hovering back and forth between Gemini of 16 degrees to 24 degrees during the entirety of the retrograde cycle. If you want to mark your calendars for Friday, May 28th, I'll be hosting a Mercury retrograde masterclass where I'll teach you not only how to survive, but to thrive during this upcoming retrograde. Well, that's all I have for you today. The next episode that drops on Wednesday, I'll be talking about your visual brand. I'll be talking about all things Taurus, how to make things beautiful and aesthetic, and exactly who needs a great visual brand. You probably heard from so many different types of gurus like invest in a visual brand, don't invest in a visual brand. And you're like, oh my God, what do I need to do? Well, I'll give you the keys to show you what you need to do and the signatures that you need to amplify according to your own natal chart in your visual brand. That's coming up on Wednesday, so stay tuned. All right, that's all I have for you, luminaries. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a rating and review on Apple iTunes.